Bienvenue. Les aventures de Frank et Ben. Deuxième série. Frank and Ben go to Winnipeg. Septième histoire. Frank and Ben go to Winnipeg, part 7. Frank and Ben leave the cafeteria. They go back outside and stand around for a while. Boy, I thought we were going to get into some trouble there for a moment, says Ben. That tough-looking guy really looked like he wanted to fight. All of a sudden, the tough-looking boy and a couple of his friends come outside. They stand around and look hard at Frank and Ben. There is the weak-looking boy with red hair and freckles, and another boy wearing a t-shirt with Taekwondo written on it. They stand around and look with mean, threatening expressions. Some of the girls that were sitting at the table with them are watching from the door. They look at the boys and expect something to happen. I bet you don't feel so tough now, Mr. Frog, says the weak-looking boy with red hair and freckles. Quickly, Ben says to Frank, let's ignore them and walk away. However, Frank doesn't move. He just continues to look hard at the tough-looking boy with the leather jacket. Finally, the tough-looking boy says to him, do you want to have it out, man? Have it out, repeats Frank. What does that mean? Do you want to scrap? Asks the tough-looking boy. Scrap, says Frank, still having trouble understanding him. Fight, man, the tough-looking boy shouts at him. All right, says Frank, but it's just between you and me. Yeah, sure, what else? Says the tough-looking boy. By now, all the girls have come outside. They stand around and look expectantly at Frank and Ben. They think they will soon see a fight. Who are they? Asks Frank. Your fan club? All the girls laugh at this. They see that Frank is a cool guy. He knows how to handle himself under pressure. And Frank says to the tough-looking boy, if you want to fight, we'll have to do it alone. I don't want any of them to see what a mess I make of you. Once again, the girls titter and laugh. Suddenly, Ben says to Frank, it's not necessary to kill him. You know what happened to the last guy you fought with. Frank then looks at Ben carefully. Didn't they release him from the hospital yet? No, says Ben. He's still in there with a concussion and a broken arm. Other girls have stopped laughing. They have worried looks on their faces. Even the boys now don't look so sure of themselves. They even look a bit frightened. What kind of bullshit are you giving us, says the tough-looking boy with the leather jacket. Suddenly the security guard comes outside. He sees that trouble is brewing. Come on, says Ben to Frank. It won't do to get into trouble again. Are you guys still going at it? Says the security guard. What's the beef? They're frogs, says the weak-looking boy with red hair and freckles. That's the only beef. Oh, is that a fact? Says the security guard. And he immediately starts talking in French to Frank and Ben. He asks them a lot of questions about where they're from, what they're doing in Winnipeg, and finally what the trouble is between them and these boys and girls who were sitting in the cafeteria only a few minutes ago. Frank and Ben answer all his questions while the boys and girls stand around and look puzzled and even a bit bored. Of course, they don't understand a word of what is being said. Finally, the security guard, who's a big husky fellow, turns towards them and, looking especially hard at the boys, says, there won't be any fight. Either you settle down and stop threatening these guys, or else you'll have to deal with me. He looks hard at all the boys and girls so that most of them want to leave right away and go somewhere else. One of the girls is very pretty, and with a pouting look on her face, finally says, "Come on, Tony. I don't like this scene anymore. Let's split." Then she and a couple of her friends start to move off. "Oh, what the hell," says the weak-looking boy with red hair and freckles. "It was only a joke. Come on, Tony. I want to get back that money you won off me at pool." He pulls on his friend's arm and finally convinces him to leave. They join the other boys and girls, and then they all head for the Las Vegas pool hall.